Today's video, I'm going ahead and showing you guys a pro guide to a rise crossover. But before I go ahead and do that, would you like yourself a chance to win a free game pass? All you need to do is drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment your Roblox username down below. I pick one lucky winner each video. Anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Okay, so this guide is gonna go ahead and be a little bit different from any guides I've went ahead and done in the past, and by that I'm just gonna be skipping over some of the basic tips. There'll still be some tips that you may know, but hopefully in this list I'm looking more for like the higher end, higher gameplay tips. And the first one I'm going to go and start off with, which is kind of actually really well timed, is making sure you clear all the dungeons in one area. So now this is more for like mid to late game, not like super late game. I'll go over that later. But if you are in mid game, not sure what I mean by this. It is a really easy to actually obtain SS rank versions of units, or at least it's so much easier than it used to be. And how you're going to obtain them is, of course, or at least how you used to obtain them, is by doing an S rank raid or S rank dungeon. And if you get lucky, you'll go ahead and then get the SS version. That's about a 1 in 50. But as of the recent merging update, it made it so you just need now one of each rarity to go ahead and obtain one, which is about 1,000 times easier. This means if you're trying to go ahead and get a high damage team, even if you're just doing the ones in Grass Village, if you manage to go ahead and get a Door SS, and of course I will go ahead and go over some higher stuff later on, it still does 112 billion, which is stronger than a lot of units in the game. But honestly, you may not be able to go into the boss, which is perfectly understandable. And what I'd 100% recommend going for is the Light Admiral in Brum Island. You don't need crazy units to beat it, and honestly, it's fairly easy to get. I managed to get a ton of Light Admirals thanks to merging the game. I think 2 of these I gathered like legit, you could say, from just getting lucky with an S rank, but the rest of them have been from merging. And again, like I said, it's more for like aiming at the higher end players. Of course, you can be a newer player and you can watch the tutorial. You may just, some of it may not apply to you, or you may not understand some bits of it, but it's in the merging area. Not even gonna bother going over it. I've made a bunch of videos on merging already. You should check one of them out if you want to see that. But anyway, the next tip on this list is actually referring, and this is a pretty high end thing at the moment, is going ahead with the new Doo-Doo Island. I always say that wrong with videos. But it's actually going ahead and doing it with friends, or finding a group of people. Now, this group of people can be found in the Discord, or however, you need a group of people either similar damage to you or more damage than you if possible. And then when you go ahead and go to the island, I'm pretty sure the island is just somewhere over here. It was just here a second ago. I probably should have flew over to it then. But if you are doing the island, you can get a group of people and you can actually server hop. So I'm not going to show some screen because you guys don't know what server hopping is. Basically, as long as there's at least one account in the server, you use public servers. You can use private servers. You'll need an alt if you are using private servers. The boss will still go ahead and spawn. So instead of normally how when you probably do it yourself, you're beating the boss one time, you can actually go ahead and get multiple times. Now, it depends on how good the team is. If you're looking at a group of people that all have full SS Light Admirals, like I mentioned earlier, you're probably about 3 to 4 clears in. If they have stronger stuff, you get 5, 6. You get a lot more clears, and that gives you a lot more attempts to go ahead and get currently the best unit in the game, which is the Zyru unit, which you get from defeating the Ant King. Of course, the G-Rank version is insanely good. It's also insanely rare. Still, the SS version is crazy good, being the strongest SS unit in the game, and yeah, very good. Best SS you're going to go ahead and get. Now, the next tip I'm going to go over is basically involving mounts. Now, I suppose it's a little bit like easier end to go ahead and people to understand, or a little bit like on the lower end, so you don't need to be as advanced as doing stuff like this, and anybody can do it. There's only actually a few mounts you need in the game, and that'd be for aquatic mounts. You owning the pirate ship, it's the fastest of all of them. It's really cheap. I mean, all the aquatic mounts are cheap, but the pirate ship you just obtain, and you do have to obtain it from Face Hill over there. And if you want a location of the boat place, it's just over here. Go over to the boat shop and you just want to buy the pirate ship. You only need one of them. You don't need any other mounts, at least in the aquatic section. If you are after other mounts, the ground mount, the best ones currently gets the Mammoth, which you can get from going AFK. Always, I suppose you could say, the mini tip. Go AFK if you're playing the game. If you're not going ahead and AFK farming the Ant King, go ahead, use the AFK area. You can not only go ahead and get things such as the Mammoth, you can also get a bunch of powder dust. It's actually the best way, in my opinion, to obtain powder dust compared to other ways. And then for flying mounts, the best one is going to be the Greater Dragon. But if you can't get that, or it's actually called the Old Dragon, the big dragon unit you can get is faster than Kamish. You actually currently can't get Kamish. So if you are talking about flying mounts, the mount you want to go ahead and look for is the Salamantra. To go for that one, it's probably the better one to use. At least for flying mounts, though, they aren't really needed, as ground mounts are pretty decent, and you can just use like boats to go ahead and transfer. Boats are faster, unless of course you see the big dragon. But anyway, it's time to go on to the next tip on this list, and this is game passes. So a lot of people, ever since the Ant King went ahead and got added in, I don't feel like we're doing dungeons as much. And that is, at least if I'm talking to more the higher end players right now, that is totally understandable, because Zyru is stronger than basically every other unit in the game. So unless it's a double dungeon, why would you bother doing it? Well, you can still get tickets for doing dungeons, but you don't get tickets for going ahead being Zyru. And with tickets, you might gain passes. If you don't have extra equip, I'm hoping if you are doing Zyru, Ant King, whatever it's called, you do have extra equip. For game passes, I'm going to go over this really quickly. You don't need auto-clicker, you don't need 2 times cash, you don't need 2 times gems. 2 times XP is just a luxury, and everything else is, in my opinion, really helpful and worth going for. And of course, definitely want to go for some more inventory space, at least earlier on, that this is very helpful. And if you want to spend your tickets on, and you know what I'm doing, just waste tickets on it, because why not there? It's a good way. Also, I'm trying to keep a lot of these very quick fire, just because I feel that's the best way to go and do this. And then another thing when dungeons do go ahead and appear, which is quite useful, is if you have joined the game's official Discord, it's not my Discord, the official Discord for the game, they do have a tab that basically says what dungeons appeared and what rank it is as well. So of course the game will tell you what it is, but instead of you waste your time going over to it, if you're, for example, doing something else in the game, you don't need to go ahead and do it. You just go and you just stay where you are. Stay where you are, check the Discord, and then make your way over to it. Save yourself a lot of time. You save yourself hopping on the game, or depending on what you're doing. And like I mentioned earlier, if you are AFKing things, if you're desperate for cash, which I don't get why you would be, I suppose you're one of the bosses here, but it's mainly the Ant King going to be AFKing, or you're going to be going in the AFK area. And like I said, yes, I did go ahead and brush over this earlier, but I just want to go over how good the AFK area is, as I do feel like a lot of people just kind of don't AFK the game, which now it works. It's good because the AFK area didn't work at the start. The gems, terrible. Tickets, I suppose it's a nice little cherry on top. The powder's really cool, and you also get skin in the mammoth. The mammoth will be quite useful getting your first like ground mount in the game, or at least it's having a ground mount to begin with. Ground mounts, honestly, don't use them at all much, especially if you have something that can go ahead and fly. It really saves you time from going ahead and obtaining one. Settings are something really important to go over. I'm assuming if you play the game well, you've probably got decent settings, but if you are doing things, especially if you're trying to go and do the Ant King, and I know I'm talking about Ant King a lot, but that's because basically that's what the game is focused around. So if you are a high level player, that's what you're going to be looking into. And if you are in a group of people, you want to have ultimate effects off, even if you like it. It's just make PC lag, and it's got a crazy high end PC. If you turn fog off, you get about 10 times better vision in the game. You want particles off, screen shake off, visual effects off, and cryo effects. Yes, it won't look as cool, but it's going to make it so much easier, and also turn off other shadows as well if your PC can't handle having them on. You don't need literally any of these settings on right there. As far as the gameplay settings, if you've got the game pass, of course, for auto attack, auto run, always have that on. Click send, one click, send basically means all click, send everything. Auto rise, if you are rising things, if you're doing dungeons, always have auto destroy, and assuming you're at a high level thing where you've got all this normal stuff, and only rise the bosses. If you don't know all the SS versions yet, go for SS versions first. If you're at the point of using Berus and bosses, or you've already got an SS team, and just getting the normal things to dungeon, always auto destroy them. Easy way to get some dust there. Auto arise, I mean these ones can be kind of however you want to do. Day cycle, basically for them you do whatever you want to do, they don't really massively matter. And then another thing is, which people do gloss over but help you speedrun your dungeons, is actually you can use enchants in the game, and I know they're not crazy useful, or at least you may think that, but let's say you're going ahead, and depending on where the dungeon is, it really does depend on the health. Enchants make them a lot stronger. This Colossal Saber usually is about like 43 million, but I'm pretty sure it has sharpness like 6 on it, which basically makes the damage like a ton higher. I'll show this with something like completely random, just saying enchants are, I'm not sure if the enchants are like the craziest thing in the game, but hey, they are useful, they will help you do more damage. It does cost gems, and you powder, but you get powder, especially compound AFK, and boom, we just doubled the damage. We also got some extra stuff, which it kind of just helps when you hit things. We also got like Vorpal 7, which means I think we're going to attack things twice as fast. But honestly, yeah, super high in play, these don't really matter, enchants kind of a side thing. Main thing is you'll be AFK in Viru, and make sure you manage to make your steps all the way up. Of course, with this tier list, it was more aimed at some of the higher end players. I know, of course, like super high end, and you're super good at the game, and you are a full crazy team. You probably knew most of these tips. Hopefully, at least one tip you didn't know. I feel like for a lot of people at least aiming to go high end, this is definitely a really good guide to go ahead and try and go pro. If you do want me to make a tier list that either has some of the easier tips in the game, tell me down below, or if you want to make a tier list that has like only high end tips in, and ones that will actually go ahead and maybe ask some pro players, maybe some even other YouTubers to see what I like, the ones that are good at the game. see what they go ahead and think about it. But anyway, guys, thank you a ton for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and watching the videos. Actually, the most Rise crossover tutorials on YouTube. So you know you can go watch them and them. Anyway, watch this video. It's a cool one, I promise. Bye.